In this lecture, we will be covering the overview of advanced GUI design. First, we will look at how to build a user interface, design and implementation. We may have a different lecture on more advanced design flow, but this one serves as a good introduction. For user interface, we may have front-end user interface and back-end user interface. For front-end user interface, there are issues about built-in components, what component can you use, layouts, and the story flow, and animation, what type of animation you need, and also user experience patterns, and custom components. Dynamic content, how can you update it like RSS input? Exception handling, if something goes wrong, how can you handle it? These are issues for front-end user interface. And front-end user interface basically is used by the users. Users use it to update or to enter their own comments or set up his own account. Another important user interface is the back-end user interface. Back-end user interface usually is owned by the app owner or website owner, so it will provide the analytics, account management for all of the user size information, logistics, how many products or how many scores need to be kept track of, sales strategy, how can you modify the sales strategy, banking connections, tools, search engine optimization, RSS management, and social networking. So there might be different tools available for people to build the backend, and also shows the analytics information for the backend users to update their sales strategy or website management strategies. GUI components. We have mentioned about some basic GUI components like button, combo box, label, text fields, something like that. But there are still many, and in our later lectures, we will be covering those advanced components and containers. And before you design a GUI, you need to pick a GUI package and your programming language. And then you need to know about the components available, containers available, the layout rules available, and also need to know about the event handling mechanism like signal slot or listener, or event delegation model, or the event loop like JavaScript. You need to know about the GUI package well before you can do the design. After that, you need to do structural analysis of your application GUI. We have looked at this figure before. Basically, you need to know about what is the internal structure and how can you build it up. And when you start to do it, you should start your design from top down. First, look at the window, the overall window outlook. And then the scene, the main theme. And then to design the containers, what section I will be using for what components. And then you put a component in, fill in different components, and set up the listener for the behavioral modeling. GUI component design. First, you create it and configure it and add the parents and add the children. If you are a container, you add the children's. If you are not a JFrame or JApplet or any other top-level containers, you need to add to the parents. And the last step, you need to add the behavioral model on it. So add the listener or lambda expression onto it. After the design, you do bottom-up implementation. Basically, you start from the listener and associate it with the button. And the listener and the event handler usually hook up with the model, the data model or data connections. And then you build it up to the panel, and eventually you build up the frame. So basically you create a frame, panel, component, and listener, and you start to add things bottom up and do integration. Listener to component, component to panel, and then panel to frame. GUI design pattern. Here we introduce one simple GUI design pattern called ModelViewController. Actually, the view is the GUI, but the model is the data model, and controller handle the whole program. We call it ModelViewController or MVC model or MVC design pattern. If you think about your program in text mode, you will have a console for you to enter your input or display your output message. That is some kind of view. And you read in data to the controller using the scanner class. And then you send the data to your program. And when you want to print out the message, you try the print writer to the console. And that is your view. That's the text mode, model, view, and controller. In the GUI environment, you had a frame, so you got the data from the view and send it to the controller, and controller is the main program, and it may be activated by the change event, and that change event change the data in the model. And when the model's data change, and it will be sent into the view for display. Say for example right here, you have a station value. When the volume change up or change down, you tune the different volume. Or when you change the different station number, when it's changed, the station number in the text field will be changed as well. So ModelViewController is a basic design pattern for GUI design that would be connecting your GUI, your data model, sometimes it's database, and also your main program, the controller. Various GUI design pattern. You can have document view pattern, that's one pattern. You have one view and one document. Or the ModelViewController pattern that we had mentioned about this in the previous slides. And ModelViewController can be conceptualized like this. You have model, you have controller, you have view. So you set the input to the controller and change the status to the model. And when model got changed, and you have the change notification to change the view, your GUI. And GUI can send the state query to the model, that is your data or database. Then the status will be reporting to the view again. And this is the simple ModelViewController conceptual diagram. ModelViewController, ModelViewPresenter, ModelView, View Model are three different design patterns, and actually there are many other different design patterns. So GUI design also involved with different design patterns that you need to pick up. So that is a more advanced topic. We may cover that later in other lectures. Thank you.